Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Buitumelo Mamadi Mamarupe, and welcome to Tlhalosement. Today, we have a brand new session of The Plug. I am here with Angy Seitei. She will tell us all about the NYDA. You know, today we're talking money. We want to know how we can actually get funded for our business ventures. But then before we do that, let me run some ads. We are actually currently fundraising for a streaming platform. Please, guys, help us purchase this streaming platform. It's up to 4,000 Rand or $250 for a year, and we want to be able to do that. So why do we need to actually purchase this streaming platform? It's because we want to be able to project PowerPoint presentations. We want to be able to get high definition quality of our videos. We want to be able to stream in different platforms at the same time so that people in LinkedIn, people in YouTube, people in Twitter, people on Facebook, people everywhere, people in Instagram can actually get hold of our content without us switching platforms. And you don't want us to go to Zoom or Teams, because when we get there, some other people will be excluded technologically, so because it's not everyone who's able to navigate the platforms. So when we are here, we are able to reach everyone. So we want to be able to reach everyone on social media networks using this streaming platform. That's why we need to purchase it. So that's it. If you want to get involved, get hold of me, DM me, send an email, or find a way to reach me, okay? I have multiple accounts on different platforms. I actually check them out every time, so you will be able to get hold of me. Okay, without actually doing a lot of yada yadas and talking, let me get my guest, and then we can start rolling with the funding. We want the money. Yeah. Let me get Angy. Hey, Angy, we are live. Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I've been waiting for you. Greet my people.
I just want to take this time to greet all the people of South Africa, wherever you are live streaming with us. I just say hello, afternoon, good afternoon, and stay blessed in this program.
Thank you, Angy. Actually, since you took a moment, let me also take a moment to
Yes.
to welcome you to the show. And actually, I'm looking forward to the presentation and what NYDA have in store for us. For everyone out there, this is Angy, Mrs. Angy Seitei. She is a program facilitator at NYDA in the Northwest Province. And today she will be telling us about all things NYDA and how can we actually get funds. Because I'm thinking NYDA is a public structure that is built for the youth to actually participate in economic activities, but we don't know how to get involved. So Angy is here to tell us on the how to get involved. So Angy, yes, one thing that I should mention, guys, our presentations, most of the time we do a one-on-one conversation with me and the guest, but today, just today, we are presenting. Actually, we have Angy here. She prepared a marvelous presentation, and she will go through the presentation, and thereafter we can actually ask questions. So while she's presenting, note those questions, put them down on the comment section. We will get back to them. And then if you want to comment on something that you know, any experience that you have with NYDA, we also would like to hear about it. Share it on the platform, and then let's get rolling. Angy, let me get your presentation, my lady.
Okay. As
There we
you get,
go.
yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Buitumelo, for the opportunity, like I have said, for inviting NYDA to come and make a presentation on the offerings that the NYDA has in store for the youth of this country. But I just want to send and start here that I believe that this platform will and has a potential to redefine people's destiny and scope of what they have in their lives, in terms of their purpose, in terms of their God-given talent. I believe that by this program, you will be able to share the burden that the society is having, to share the burden that South Africa is currently facing. And I believe that we will be able to partake in these programs only if we have a purpose and only if we are in burden with the zeal to help people, with the responsibility that is bestowed upon us as the society in general, being a private sector, being a public sector. We have a role to play in ensuring that we emancipate, we develop, and we also grow the nation as a whole. Because I normally say that when they say in Setswana, kgomo ka mošate e tshwara ka go keng ba reng eng e kgona ka go tshwaraganelwa. Yes, when they say I believe that raising a child is an issue of society. It is not an individual or household thing, but it is a societal issue. So when we come to the platform such as this, I know that the redefining of people's life and also making sure that people's life are channeled towards the direction that the cause and the purpose of their existence is all about will be done in this platform. And I'm really, really applauding your tenacity, your encouragement, your power, your passion in ensuring that young people in South Africa becomes better people globally, not only in the society as South African community. By saying that, we as the NYDA, I know many young people, they call it NYDA, because young people, they have the way of abbreviating things, or the way of getting things to be done the way they want, or to call them the way they want, you know.
It's drip, my lady.
Yes, that kind of, you know, they call it a NYDA, NYDA. NYDA, it is a government institution. It is an agency of government which was established under Act number 54 of 2008. That is a parliamentary act that it governs this institution called the NYDA. It was launched June 16, 2009 by His Excellency President Jacob Zuma. By then, it was from Umsobomvu Youth Fund and National Youth Commission. So they joined the two organizations together, or two entities together, because they were working parallel. And then by 2009, under the pronouncement of the presidency, they now joined the two entities to become NYDA, which we call National Youth Development Agency. So there are legislative acts that governs this entity or this agency. We have National Youth Policy Act, or Youth Policy, that governs NYDA 2015 of 2000. We also have Integrated Youth Development Strategy that we also deriving our mandate from. So we are an entity or an agency that report directly to the presidency. We report directly to the parliament as well. We don't have any other mother body like other government institution, which they have the national and the provincial department. But us, we report directly to the parliament. So that is the burden that we have, because it means that we have always have to be on our toes. We have to always work and make sure that we bring the results, because the president is our main person that we have to please over above everything. So this agency, like I have said, It is a South African-based agency established primarily to tackle challenges that the nation's youth are facing. So the NYDA was established with the main or the sole purpose, which is to locate and identify challenges that are faced by our youth community in South Africa. So we have a provincial branches that this agency has in all the or rather in all around all the parts of the country or in all provinces. And then we are an agency that is earmarked, like I said, to make sure that young people's issues are addressed, is to ensure that we develop strategies that will help young people to grow not only socially but even economically. Because remember that young people were excluded from the mainstream economy back then during the apartheid because of the era that the youth of that generation was lived under. So this is one of the ways to say, how do we bring together the societal challenges that young people are faced with today, being poverty, being unemployment, being a shortage of skills, being substance abuse, and all the social ills that we see leveraging our youth community. So the NYDA is there to tackle such challenges. So we needed to come with a strategic document that will address such challenges, because we can never treat young people as a homogeneous people, because they are different in many ways. So we have to address these challenges in a way that will suit each and every young people in the country. So our main vision as the agency, as it is stipulated under our act as well as under the policy, the youth policy that I've been talking about, is to be a credible and capable youth development agency for South Africans youth. That is our main vision of the organization of the NYDA. Our mission is to mainstream youth issues into society and to facilitate youth development with all sectors of society. That is our core mission that we have to achieve in order for us to achieve the vision that is being put by the government of South Africa. The key performance of NYDA, or key areas, or we call it key strategic areas of focus that NYDA has identified as important issues that we must address, are divided into 5 pillars, which are economic participation of youth, which is the enhancement of the participation of young people in the economy. We want to mainstream young people into the economy. And the other one is education and skills development, which is very key in the era of industrial revolution, the 4th industrial revolution that we are living in. We see many young people losing jobs today, not only because of COVID-19, but because of the alignment of the skills that are not appropriate or that are not yet solving any or bringing any solution towards the labor market. So because today some skills are irrelevant due to the development of technology in globally, so not only in South Africa. So education and skill is part of our key performance area, and also health and well-being of our people, or which is young people, obviously. We have other pillar that it is our key area as well, policy and research, which is to create and produce information and knowledge for better youth development planning and decision making. So we have a research unit that is only earmarked to search for a mechanism that will help us to get our young people going forward and developing in many areas of their lives. And the last one, which is governance and administration. We want to emphasize on effectively and efficient utilization of resources and adhere to the best practices and systems of corporate governance, because we are modeled and we are shaped as the NYDA by ethical and moral leadership. That is what we are reinforcing as the agency. We under those pillars that I have talked about, that the NYDA has identified as the key strategy in combating all the socio and economic challenges that the young people are facing. We have focused and zoomed into those 4 key areas in order to combat such challenges that young people are facing. We have divided the programs of NYDA into clusters. But today, because as my lady, you have given us an invitation, you wanted us to specifically talk about economic development, which translates in a layman's term into development of businesses, whether through funding or whether through skills development or whether through integrated programs that NYDA is running. Those are under economic development cluster. So when you invited us and as the NYDA during the course of the week, you said to us, I want you NYDA to come and facilitate a presentation on funding. And funding speaks to one pillar and one area of the programs that we are offering to our youth, which is economic development. And like I have said, it has various phases or various subsectors that speaks to the development of entrepreneurial skills and entrepreneurial development in terms of funding and others that I will mention. So economic development, we have an entrepreneurship development program. Under it, we have the grant program, we have the market linkages, the voucher program, and we have the cooperative development program and the business registration program. So those are the programs that NYDA are offering to young people in order for us to tackle issues of socio and economic challenges that young people are facing. I think that your viewers will agree with us as the NYDA that today we see many young people losing jobs. Today we see many young people not having employment. Today we see many young people having degrees, postgraduate degrees and everything, but they are seated at home. Hence, we needed to come with a strategy that will help us to tackle all those challenges, not taking them as a one basket, but to diversify our areas of responsibility in ensuring that our young people's lives becomes better and becomes best. So economic development, like I have said, we have entrepreneurial program that it is falling under skills development, where we train young people on entrepreneurship, which create awareness and provide business skills training to aspiring and existing young entrepreneurs, and with the aim of enabling them to establish or expand their enterprises. So it is actually there to capacitate our young people in terms of business operation skills. And then the other thing that young people can participate in this program, they need to go to our nearest branches. If you are interested into coming into business or you are an aspiring entrepreneur, you are able to come to any NYDA branch across the country, and you are able to ask about the entrepreneurship development program, which we call them business management skills. You are able to be given an information there on how to apply for training such as that one, in order for you to make your business a success when you have an information and you know that you have a proper skills to run that particular business. So I think when we go on, when the question comes, if you want me to elaborate more on the entrepreneurial skills program, you are able to raise such questions, and then I will be able to take you through what you are inquiring about. I will go to grant program. We have number 2, the grant program, which also falls under our economic development. The grant program, it is a funding program. It is a funding program. And when I mean the grant, I don't mean a grant that you get from SASSA. I mean a grant in a form of money that is there and allocated by government to the NYDA so that we can be able to help young people who are in businesses and those who have already established entities or who have established businesses. Our grant program, it is not a microfinancing program. It's not a microfinance. I think those who are familiar to the word, it is a grant program. It means that we give it to young people for free. We don't charge the interest. It is not a loan in a sense. Hence, we say it's not a microfinancing. It's not a loan. It's a grant that is being offered to young people who have established businesses or who want to get into entrepreneurial space or into entrepreneurial sector. So we have divided our grant into different thresholds. We have thresholds which start from 1,000 rand up until 200,000 rand, and we have another one which is 250,000. I will explain. The 1,000 rand to 10,000 funding that NYDA is offering to young entrepreneurs is for the startups. And then the other supporting funding is between the amount of 10,000 to amount of 50,000 is for existing businesses. And then we also have the 50,000 to 100,000 is for those who want for, we call them expansion businesses. And then we have the one from 100 to 200,000. It is also for existing business and those that wants to expand. And the last one, we have amount of 100,000 to 250,000. That funding is only for people who are in technological space and those who are in agricultural space. They have access to 250,000 rand of funding. However, I must reiterate that this funding or this threshold, they have a criteria that a young person must meet. You don't just say, I'm going to go to NYDA to apply without following the processes that needs to be followed and to meet the criteria that needs to be met, because it's not a give and take. It is, yes, a grant, but you need to follow the processes of the requirements, meet the requirements, follow the criteria, meet the criteria, and then you will be able to access the funding if your application is successful. So these applications of grant funding can be found in our website as well of NYDA. And you will know that for you to get a grant, firstly, you must be a registered business, like I'm saying, especially for 10,000 and above, you must be a legal registered businesses. You must have all your compliant documents with you. You must have the banking records if you apply for more than 50,000. So those are the criteria that I've been talking about, that thresholds differs in terms of criteria. So when you follow the NYDA website and when you follow the NYDA branches, they will be able to explain how those criteria are outlined as per each threshold. So under the same grant program, young people must understand that there are some exclusions. We have some exclusions. There are certain things that we don't fund. We don't fund, for an example, a business that its primary income is tobacco, or its primary income generator or income primary income is alcohol. For an example, if you have opened a tavern, you have opened a club, we don't fund such kind of business. So we don't fund also if you want to come to us and say you want to be a loan shark, we won't be able to fund such kind of business. So there are some exclusions that NYDA is exempted to fund as per the policy of the organization. So you must be aware of those exclusions because not everything is funded by the NYDA. So we also not fund in terms of grant, we don't fund the NPOs and the NGOs. We have other separate programs that deals with NPOs and NGOs. But as when we come to funding, we are not funding NPOs. We only fund profit-making businesses, your PTY, LTDs, your cooperatives, we are able to fund. Your individual funding is also available. But as for NPO, we are not funding. And then the other thing, when it comes to funding that young people must be cognizant of is that you won't be able to apply for NYDA and then at the same time you are working. It is a prohibition. So, or it is prohibited rather. So you have to be 100% fully hands-on in your business in order for you to get the funding. So if you are working elsewhere, you are going in the morning, you go and report elsewhere where you are working, you will need therefore to leave your job, resign from your job, and then that's when you are able to apply for funding. But I just want to be clear on this one. When you apply for funding, we don't say to you, leave your job immediately, because the outcome of the application might become different. You might apply and then your application is declined. And we can't risk that to say, leave your job, whereas we don't know what will be the outcome of the application. So what we normally do is that we will advise the young person that, yes, you can lodge an application, but in case your application becomes successful, in case NYDA has granted you approval for your application for funding, then you will need to resign. And you need to come with a resignation letter that comes from the company that you were working for that shows that you have resigned. In case you don't resign, it means you will forfeit your grant funding. So I think those are the things that we need to be aware of, that even after the funding, you think that I got the funding, now after I got the funding, I can go and get a work elsewhere. Remember, when you get an application and you get approval and then we are able to fund your business, if you sign that agreement with NYDA, you are actually saying that you are abiding yourself. You are enforcing yourself. You are signing a contract with NYDA that you agree to each and every terms and conditions that are stipulated in the application. So it is very important that you read those dotted lines, you read the terms and conditions of what the NYDA contract for funding is saying. Because many at times we see young people coming and apply, they get a funding, after get a funding, they get a job elsewhere. And they forget that they have signed a contract that abides them, that enforce them to act according to what it has been saying. So we have all the rights to take up action that deems fit for NYDA to take at that point in time. If we need to recoup our equipment, we will do so. If you have sold our equipment and you go and work elsewhere, we will get you. So know that nothing is for free, no free lunch. So everything that is there for a reason, and you cannot just play over it. And then we have also the program, Market Linkages Program, which is part of the economic development program. There is no way that you can be funded and then we leave you just like that. There is a program for market linkages where we are able to link young people to opportunities, to go outside there and talk to private sector, engage with them to say that we have our beneficiaries, we want to help, or rather we want you to do business with them. So the market linkages involves ongoing lobbying potential opportunity providers in the private and public sector to avail business opportunity to our young people. That is what market linkage is all about. So the opportunity will vary from one to the other. The opportunity can be the procurement, retail and distribution, acquisition of equity stakes. The program involves linking young people to identify business opportunities. So if we have to go to the mine and talk to the mine and say that please procure from our beneficiary who is doing PPEs, or procure from our beneficiary who is doing certain manufacturing components of that can help your businesses as the mining sector, we are able to go there and negotiate for them to open up the market for our small, medium enterprises, micro enterprises. So how young people do participate in the market linkages. You don't need only to be a beneficiary for NYDA in order for you to be part of the market linkages. Even if you are a business of a business, you have a business outside there, you are a young person outside there running your business, you see that you don't have any opportunities there to penetrate the market, it's difficult, you are able to come to the NYDA offices and ask for assistance in terms of market linkages so that we can be able to see if whether we can fit you into any potential opportunities that can come out from the private sector or from the public sector businesses to help you to buy or purchase equipment or whatsoever that you are selling. So it's important that every business of or young people who are in business, don't say NYDA is only for funding. You can come through for market linkages opportunities. And the other program that we are assisting young people with, it is a business consulting services, which we call it the voucher program. This is a non-financial support service of NYDA. Here we don't fund. There is no money involved here. Here we help existing businesses or startup businesses to get programs such as business plans or services such as business plans. We do promotion, marketing and branding, promotional material. We are able to do website development. But because we have limited capacity in the province vary from province to the other. In the province of Northwest, the voucher services that we are able to offer at this point in time to our young people outside there who are in business. Number one, we are able to offer a services of bookkeeping and financial administration. We do, they call it bookkeeping record systems, where you are able to store your invoices, your receipt books and everything. We are able to develop such system for you. The other services or service that we are able to do under the voucher program, we are able to do business feasibility for your business. We are also, or for a business that you perhaps want to buy, we are able to do business feasibility. We are also able to do business plans for young people who are in business or young entrepreneurs. We are able to do due diligence. We are able to do marketing and strategy and plan. We are also able, like I've said, to do website development and hosting. Those are the services that we are able to give to young people free of charge. You don't pay even a single cent. So when I was saying business feasibility, remember that each and every business starts with an idea. And that idea needs to be translated into an opportunity, business opportunity. And that idea must be feasible. It must be viable. So meaning that this business idea, there must be an existing market for that business. This business idea must be able to be translated into an opportunity. This business must be able to have resources. This idea must have people who we call the customer. So this business must be competitive, or this idea must be competitive. It must have what we call sustainable competitive edge, meaning there must not be an ease of copying your strategy, or the strategy that makes you different, or what makes you different, what makes you unique, or your selling proposition. So those are the things that we check in order to ensure that the business idea is feasible or not, or is feasible and viable at the same time. So those are the services that we are able to offer to young people under the voucher program services. And please let me reiterate it again. The voucher program is not financial support. It is a business consulting services support, where we don't give you money, but we are able to do business plans and all those 6 services that I have explained under the voucher program. And then the other one that we are able to offer is business registrations under NYDA. It falls under the voucher services as well, where we are able to register for you the CIPC, to register with CIPC the company on your behalf, or the company registration on your behalf with CIPC. But for now, this service is being on suspension for now due to other internal matters, but we do business registrations as well. And lastly, let me talk about mentorship. We do offer mentorship for our young people. Mentorship is a program that is there to help young people with challenges that they are experiencing as they go along with their businesses. Because you find that a young person is doing well with marketing, but when it comes to financial management of the business, this young person is lacking. So the mentorship program comes to fill those gaps, to come and take through the young person, or this young person who is in business, on areas that they have identified as a problematic in terms of them growing in their businesses. So you will be given a mentor who will be able to work with you on identifying those problems, mitigating the problems, solving the problems, at the end of the day, become sustainable as a business entity. So that is what the mentorship is all about. We emphasize in a lot about the mentorship program in all of our beneficiaries, because what the mandate of the NYDA has emphasized, or from the head office, is to say every young person who has benefited from our grant funding, they have to go through the mentorship program. So we have a pool of mentors who will be able to help you to navigate your way as you grow as a young entrepreneur. The last one is cooperatives development. We are able to identify forms of cooperative in local rural communities. So I think many people or many young people know what cooperatives are, what form of businesses is that. So we are also providing assistance in terms of cooperative funding. We also do cooperative training as well. So how does young people participate in cooperative development program? They participate through community development facilitations in rural areas by attending cooperative governance trainings. They also are assisted with cooperative registrations and also the facilitation of cooperative funding. So we can take them from community development stage, and then we take them through the cooperative funding. So if you are a young person sitting in a rural area, you don't know what to do, you see a land sitting at the village there, the land that can be utilized for farming or the land that can be utilized for agricultural purposes, you have to just knock at the doors of the NYDA and identify young people who you share the same common interest. And then after that, come to the NYDA. We will be able to do community development facilitation first. And after that, we will then advise you to attend our cooperative training. And after, we will do registration of a cooperative. And after the registration, we will finalize and enclose the process by funding such cooperative. So remember, with cooperative, like I said earlier on, their access to funding is up to 250,000. Like I said, with IT or IT technological sector and also agricultural sector, the funding ends at 250,000. So it means that we are earmarking to see many young people formalizing themselves in a form of cooperative and coming to the NYDA as they are, and we will take them from the first stage to the last stage, which is the funding program. So that is basically what NYDA is doing, what is NYDA is offering to our young people. That is what NYDA is been doing in the past years, and that will continue to be doing to develop our young people in the country as well as in the province of the Northwest. So we are able to help you if you are able to come to us and ask for assistance, because we are told by the presidency that a young person must never return from the NYDA the same. A young person must never be rejected when they come to the NYDA. Where and a young person enter the door of NYDA, when they leave, they must leave with hope. They must leave alive. They must leave believing in themselves. They must leave knowing that life has its own challenges, but life wants a young person who stand up, who gets solutions to these challenges, and who is able to fight the good fight of changing the course of their destiny. So hence I'm encouraging right now every young person, wherever you are, the NYDA is there, and the NYDA's mandate is to ensure that you don't suffer in silence, you don't suffer alone. If we are here, it means that we have opened the doors for each and every young person, wherever you find yourself in, to come to the NYDA and be assistant, whether through business or entrepreneurial skills development or through entrepreneurial funding. You are able to come to us and we will be able to assist you where you are looking for an assistance. Thank you, ma'am.
Sure. That was a mouthful, hey?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Thank you so much, Angie. That was very informative, very articulate, and straight to the point. Like, I don't know if people have questions. I don't see any questions here. I only see comments. And besides that, I must say thank you so much. That was very articulate. You did mention on you did touch on the funding instruments, which is actually what I wanted you to, emphasize on, because
Yes.
young people, most of the time, actually this month, we are running with the theme of funding on this program called The Plug. So last week, we were actually talking about what is the main thing that actually kills the dreams of young people. And then one of those things was identified as funding, because most people actually do have ideas, do want to go and explore these adventures, but then funding happens. So now I wanted to say, you know what, we found this problem. Let's see if we can actually combat it. And you are here with the NYDA doing that. So let me go on to the comment section there and see if anyone have any question. We actually have one question here that comes from Mangoba. Mangoba says, what requirements do you check before you grant a funding to a new startup business? Do you help in drafting a startup business plan, or you just say, bring your business plan and then we'll help you? What exactly, because you did actually mention the support, so I want you to link those two.
Okay. Can I get the question again?
Mangoba wants to know if, do you guys help with business plan drafting? Do you help with that?
Okay. Yes, we do help with our application. We have a business plan template that is attached to our business, to our grant application. Remember, I said there are 4 thresholds, and 4 of them, they have different criteria. So for threshold number 1, which is between 1,000 rand to 10,000 for startups, there is no business plan that you are required to come with to us. We do provide our own business plan template to you, and then you are able to fill it in. It is simple. It is not too much complicated. So there is no way that a young person cannot be able to put it together. So if you have a problem with filling it together, you have officials. I am one of them who is able to help and assist an applicant on how to apply and fill it and complete that application. In it, there is a business plan template that is attached to it. So what you need to do is to fill in the gaps. So if you have difficulty on that one, NYDA is able to assist you. But remember that when you apply for funding, there are certain things that they look into your application. And I normally say that the idea is followed by the money, but the money does not follow the idea. So actually the money follow the idea, not the other way around. So the idea does not follow the money. The money follow the idea. So it means your idea must be of a nature of an idea that it can be converted into business opportunity. There is an identified need for such idea to exist, or for such idea to be converted into an opportunity. So most of the time that what young people are doing is that they think that every idea is a good idea. Not every idea is a good opportunity. Yes, it can be a good idea, but it's not a good opportunity. So your idea must have an opportunity for it to be converted into business venture. So
thank you. Oh, go on.
That's the essence of the thing. That is the essence. We don't fund just because we fund. We fund an idea. Everything starts with an idea. If an idea is good, an idea has an opportunity, then the money will follow.
Yeah, you are very. I like your enthusiasm and your energy makes me want to have an idea. Right now, I'm thinking, do I have an idea? So
you have one. You already have one. You are there. This is an idea.
You know, the second part of Manuela's question actually is he's asking about the requirements you need to check before you grant. So when you guys grant an idea, what do you look for? Because yes, the business plan will be there, but what other documents should accompany that?
Okay. Number 1, I said we fund an idea. We don't fund a gimmick. We don't fund the I thought. We fund an idea. It means that you must have done your feasibility. You have done your study. And then number two, what accompanies the idea? Because a business plan is an idea in draft, in writing. So after that, you need to have a business skill. There's no way that NYDA, if your business idea you have an idea has an opportunity, you have to have skills in terms of business management. For an example, they call it entrepreneurial skills or business management skills. Those soft skills. Remember, we have your soft skills and your technical skills. So we need another part of the skills, which is the operational skills of business side. We can't find a young person who does not know how to cost, right? We cannot find a young person who does not know that there are financial for business and financial for personal use. We can't find a young person who does not know marketing and plan strategy. Because, I mean, if you don't have a skill, even if the idea can be positive, if you don't have business management skills or the operational skills part of the business, the potential or there is a potential of that business to not grow and to die at the end of the day. So you need to have the business skills in a form of certificate. We need an evidence. You need to come with certificate that shows us that you have done courses for entrepreneurial skills, you have done business management skills at school, perhaps, or you have done it in other state agencies such as NYDA, because NYDA is also offering the same similar training that we are offering. So if you come with that, it will be another document that we need. We will need your CK, your company registration certificate. We will also need the quotations. You need to come with a quotation, because remember, NYDA does not give you money. It buys you equipment. It buys you stock. It buys you certain things that you need in the business. So those are the things that we are able to buy. To buy. We also need simple things like your tax clearance, your compliance, all your compliance. And then we also need something like your registration, residential proof of residence. Yes, we need proof of residence. But the core is your entrepreneurial skills certificate. It is your quotations. It is your company registration certificate. It is those tax clearance that I'm talking about. The business plan, when you apply for 50,000, you don't need to come with a business plan. We give you our business template plan, and then you just fill it in together. And then, yes, those quotations, those are the things that needs to accompany your application.
You touched on that. On your presentation, you did say that you actually offer those trainings, like your business development, your feasibility study and all that. So if I have an idea, but I don't have feasibility study first, is it advisable for me to come to NYDA and say, you know what, I have this idea, let's start with feasibility study? Is that a doable thing?
Because it falls under the voucher program, yes, it is doable. It is doable. But remember, they need to assess, why do you need for us to do the feasibility? Because sometimes a feasibility is something that you yourself needs to do it. So we weigh what is the reason, what is the rationality behind you saying we must do the feasibility for you. Because if we can open it for everyone will just come and do and say, I have an idea, so please do feasibility study for me. It is not rational. So it is based on case by case when you apply for the voucher program.
Another question, this one actually speaks to me directly. So
yes.
You have an idea and you are just a scientist with an idea. You don't have any formal business education, Like not only me, I know so many people out there who have ideas but don't have formal business education. So because you mentioned that when one applies must have those certificates like formal education of like from a business institution, is how do we work around that? The fact that I
Okay,
have other qualifications, like maybe I come with a scientific idea, business idea, but I don't have business qualifications.
okay. Remember, we don't judge based on the fact that you have done IT, therefore you don't have anything. There are courses that you do at school, and then under those courses, there are modules of entrepreneurial skills or business skills. Maybe you can do business management skill for a year or for a semester. So we look into what have you covered at the university or at the college or at the other institution of government where they offer skills development. So it's not like we are saying come with business management certificate, degree or diploma on entrepreneurial management or on business management. No, 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 no. If it is that's the case, it's okay. It's a blessing. But you find yourself that you have done agricultural degree, but during the course of the studies, you came across a module that talks to entrepreneurship, especially those who have done management sciences, those courses. All of the time, there is a course that talks to business management or that talks to entrepreneurship. So if you have done that, you are able to come to NYDA and say, these are the modules that I have done that talks to what you are saying I must bring. And then we will look into them, assess them, and then we will give a verdict on the assessment based on the modules that you have covered at school. So
Actually,
it's not always the case, because remember I said that we will never treat you as a homogeneous entities or people, so we have to be rational. We need to know that our environment that we live in offers certain things, and we need to match those things with what is a reality, especially when it comes to our young people.
that is actually very fair. We have a comment here that I actually very resonate with. It's from Kwazi. Kwazi says, thank you so much, Sis Angy. That was very informative. All the questions I had were answered. So Kwazi have no question for you because you covered them.
Yeah. You must say hi to him because I know him.
Oh, hi, Kwazi. And then we have other comments, actually lovely comments here. We have another comment from Tabang Gunyas there says, I'm attending today, so excited. Hello, Sis Angy. Actually, people are greeting you. And then we have another one here. It's a comment from Eva Marope saying, hey, I'm here. And then that's Kwazi there also saying, it's my first time watching and I'm loving the show. Thank you, Kwazi, for joining us today. Yeah, so that's it from us today. Actually, I don't have questions. You have covered everything. I do agree with Kwazi. If anyone wants to know anything going forward, I believe they can actually walk into NYDA offices, like you have opened the doors there, and also, maybe, get you on social media. So if people want to connect with you on social media, where do they get you?
They can get me at Angy Seitei on Facebook. They can also get me on Twitter, on my Instagram handle, Angy Seitei.
Oh, okay. That's great. Do you have any?
And yeah, my lady, I wanted to also, on the issue of the documentation, I forget that you need to also provide your personal bank statement, you also need to provide the business bank statement. So those are the things that you need to also accompany your application when you apply. So I wanted to close this, my lady, as I thank you for what you are doing. And people, they don't know that you are a PhD candidate. I just want to say you are an inspiration. But before I go to you being an inspiration, I want to leave our audience with these words that I have wrote just for them, just for them, just for this program. Um, your world is the reflection of your inner self. Your world is the reflection of your inner self. So the way you dress, the way you look at people, the way you look at yourself, the car that you are driving, the house that you live in, the kitchen scheme or the kitchen cupboard that you are having at home is the reflection of your inner self. Many at times we are busy want to refurbish the outside person or the outside, but we forget to work with the inner self first. So as I said, a lot of the time individuals, we want to fix the outside without attempting to deal with the inside. So before you start fixing the outside, fix the inside first. That's what I want to say. Your world is also the reflection of your knowledge. If we, how can I put it? The world is the reflection of your knowledge because if you knew more, you wouldn't be where you are today. Wherever you are sitting, whatever that you are doing, know that if you knew more, you wouldn't be where you are. The question is that, where are you? If you knew what you knew, my lady, you wouldn't be here where you are. But because of the knowledge that you know, you are where you are. So we can't work outside our knowledge. You can't do anything outside your knowledge. That is why when I wrote an email to you, I said to you on that email, and I heard myself, we are in a constant pursuit of knowledge every day. Because where there is knowledge, people perish. So knowledge that is being transformed, that is being transferred in this platform has to take you somewhere. Because it wouldn't be wiser for you to be having an information and that information does not transform you one way or the other. It has to do something. Something has to challenge you in this platform. And that something is embedded in the knowledge that you have seen in this platform. So it is more important that we transform knowledge in various ways. Knowledge can be transformed. And this platform is one of the platforms. That knowledge is being transformed. And I like it because it talks to the essence and the core of why are we not growing. Is because it's either we are resistant to what we hear, or it's either we are ignorant, or it's either we are dead within ourselves. That is why we don't get transformation. So my responsibility, my lady, and your responsibility. And the young person who is watching here, our responsibility, therefore, is to transform one people, and build them grow from one level to the other. That is my responsibility. That is the responsibility of a young person somewhere, somewhere. That is the responsibility of this platform, to make sure that as we transform and transfer and impart this knowledge, one person is growing day by day. Therefore, knowledge is needed in all areas of our lives. Knowledge is needed. And the one way you acquire this knowledge is through an introduction of an individual or a relationship in your life. An introduction or a new relationship in your life, it is one way of transforming that knowledge. So the question is that anytime a new relationship is added in your life, it is not so about an individual. It is about their wealth. I want to repeat it again. One way knowledge or wisdom is acquired is through an introduction of an individual, or is through an introduction of a relationship in your life. Therefore, anytime a new relationship is added in your life, it is not so much about an individual that you have met or that this relationship has started with. It is about their world. So when you come to somebody that is new in your life, or when you come across a new relationship in your life, or when you come across a new person in your life, when they enter your life, when they enter their world, your world, it's not about them. It's about learning from their environment or their world. It is very imperative that you start to examine their world. How did they achieve what they have achieved? That's what you need to learn. Learn their world. Learn why are they doing what they are doing. Learn how did they achieve what they have achieved. Because it will be so stupid for you to be introduced to an individual and you don't learn nothing out of their world. It will be stupid, so stupid of me to come to this platform and not learning anything from this world. The 2 days that I have sat on her platform, I was learning. How does a PhD student, candidate, we call them, how is she able to make time out of her studies for the cause of social justice, for the cause of development of another human being? If I was her, maybe I was going to be there and studying to death, making sure that I get my PhD, not impacting the world, not impacting anyone's life, looking and being selfish and self-centered, only wanting to achieve getting that PhD and get the best job the world can ever give. But she took her time because she understood that for me to move forward as an academic, as a learner, it will be useless of me to have a PhD, whereas somebody out there is not informed. When there's somebody out there is suffering, I rather take the social justice way and make sure that I use my time, I use my resources, I impact and influence and dominate the areas that people are neglecting when they have their degrees on their shoulders. So with that being said, my lady, what you are doing, you are impacting. Some people, sometimes, they have endowed themselves with academic knowledge, but they don't have a reach. They don't have an influence. Their stature is small. Because you can have all those degrees, but if your influence, your stature is small, then you are not significant. Significance is not about having many belts on your shoulders, but how many lives have you impacted with those belts? With that being said, thank you. God bless you and keep you safe and warm. I love you.
And you, I'm blushing, Tamang.
Love you so much. You have impacted my world, and I have learned a lot from that world, because there's no way that a relationship, when it's added in your life, you don't study how did they achieve it. You don't learn from that environment and that world. I've learned from your world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Angie. Like, today I'm gonna sleep like a baby. Hey,
My
you've
pleasure,
said,
my lady.
you've said a mouthful. I don't even know what to say. Like, there's no comeback. It's not like I have to, but you said a lot. I mean, somehow I felt like, okay, why does she talk like me?
Mm-hmm,
Like,
mm-hmm,
especially when you mentioned relationships and when you mentioned knowledge, I usually
mm-hmm,
say this. Actually, I always say this. We are
mm-hmm.
rich. We are a rich nation.
Yeah,
Our richness, our wealth is in the form of knowledge. We just
yeah,
need to find a way to convert that into money. That's what we
yeah,
have to do. So,
yeah.
like, I was like, okay, this one is copying my lines now. Yeah,
Okay,
thank you
no,
so much. That was
Calebo.
a very mouthful. Phew, okay, I don't know what to say, but from me, and this is the end of the plug. Like today, like, okay, let me stop talking. Phew, thanks to everyone who joined us today. Actually, we have two comments. Yes. We have two comments here. This is Mangoba says, thank you for attending to his questions. And I'm sure he's also thanking you for that piece that you did at the end. It's actually very interesting. And then this one says, we really need more people like people of your kind. Ausmama Rope, God. God will reward you. He's actually even talking to me this one. Thank you, Kwazi. And I'm humbled. I'll do more. I'll do more. And yeah, today's session is actually lit. To everyone out there, I am your host, Mitmela Mamadi Mamarope, and I'm signing out. I'm here with Angie. Angie will say bye too. Bye.